Hello and welcome to Did You Know Gaming Extra. Today we'll be looking at characters who cameoed in games before making their official debut. Building up to the release of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega used all kinds of marketing tactics to create hype around the game. This involved taking the game to trade shows and making bizarre advertisements. They even decided to put him in another game. Sonic's first video game appearance was in Radmobile, which hit arcades 5 months before Sonic the Hedgehog's release on the Sega Genesis in North America. Sonic took the form of an air freshener hanging at the top of the screen, with some surprisingly responsive physics at the time. Sega's idea to spotlight Sonic in another game clearly paid off, but our next character doesn't seem to be in a game for promotion. In fact, he's barely visible in it at all. While HAL Laboratory were developing Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy, they were also developing a role-playing game for the Super Nintendo called Arcana. Although the games have practically nothing in common besides being made by HAL, Kirby makes a sneak appearance in Arcana's opening sequence. Kirby can be seen amongst a band of evil warriors, and since the art is repeated, there's multiple Kirbys. Arcana released a month before Kirby's Dream Land in Japan, and 3 months before Dreamland in North America. For our next piece of trivia, we'll be taking a look at the much-loved company Atlus, and their Persona franchise. The Persona series isn't shy about referencing other games and media, and this is especially true for Persona 3 Portable. In the game, there's an unnamed man drinking alone in Club Escapade. This man is none other than Vincent Brooks, the protagonist of Atlus's puzzle game, Catherine. Vincent gives hints about Catherine and tells the player to remember him, and that if they meet him again, he'll tell the player more of his story. Persona 3 Portable came out about 1.5 years before Catherine did in Japan, making this a fairly early cameo. In fact, Persona 3 Portable was released before Catherine was even publicly announced. Another character that was featured in a game before their franchise debut was Galen Marek, also known as Starkiller. I'm just going to take a second to mention that Lucas wanted him to be called Darth Icky in the first place. The Sith Apprentice had a playable appearance in Soul Calibur 4, a whole 2 months prior to the publication of Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Starkiller can be unlocked by beating the arcade mode with Yoda in the Xbox 360 version or Darth Vader in the PlayStation 3 version. And for today's random piece of trivia, let's take a look at the Game Boy Color game Maya the Bee and Her Friends by Acclaim. You know this is going to be a strong one. Since Maya the Bee isn't very well known outside of Germany, the game's graphics were changed, and it was brought to America as The New Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley. Some levels are actually exactly the same, but this isn't the first time the game was altered. The title was originally planned as a South Park game, and screenshots of it even exist. Not only this, but the graphics for Cartman, Kenny, Stan, and Kyle can still be found in the game's data. Acclaim apparently wanted to base the game on the South Park license, but the show's creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, weren't comfortable with the idea. The duo reasoned that since the Game Boy was marketed towards children, basing the game on the adult-oriented franchise would be irresponsible. Maya the Bee and Her Friends also contains an unused sprite of Itchy from The Simpsons. Acclaim were given The Simpsons license multiple times in the 90s, which led to several Game Boy titles being developed. This sprite may be the last remnant of an unreleased Simpsons game. That's all for today, but why not check out the 2 videos we have on screen while you're here, or even subscribe to see the multiple videos we release each week. Yes! And then, the video comes to an end.